How is the market in Utah right now? Well, you're not the only one wondering. It depends on which news source you look to. People are saying prices are rising, interest rates are high, the market's falling apart. It's kind of all over the board. So what I'd like to do today is we are going to look at the top counties in the Wasatch Front Regional Multiple Listing Service for the northern part of the state. And instead of giving you opinions, we're going to look at the actual data. We're going to look at the numbers. This will give you a really good indication of exactly what's happening today in the northern Utah real estate market.
We're Rod and Melody, your guides to living in Salt Lake City and beyond. With over 30 years in Utah real estate, we're here to help you navigate this beautiful state with confidence. We make videos about living in Salt Lake, exploring the suburbs, and what life in Utah is really like. We've helped over 1,400 families make their move in, out, and around Utah. And whether you're headed to St. George, South Jordan, or Smithfield, we've got you covered.
As I'm sure you guys are aware from your high school economics class, the value of everything is always going to be based on supply and demand. We're hearing a lot about that right now with the tariffs and the supply chain problems and everything going on with China and are our shelves going to be empty? We want to focus today on how that's impacting the housing market specifically. Inventory rates, typically in a real estate market, it's either good for a seller, which means there's short supply and abundance of buyer demand and property values are going up, and you're in the top negotiating chair, or the opposite is going on. We've got too much inventory. There's not enough buyer demand. Maybe rates have gone up a little bit. And that means that the buyers are in the power negotiating chair and can oftentimes negotiate better concessions, lower prices, etc. So what I thought might be interesting today is to approach it from the viewpoint of the highest inventory and the lowest buyer demand in the northern part of the state by county, and then count down to the best, which would be the lowest supply and the higher demand. So we're going to look at months worth of inventory county by county in the northern part of the state. So we're going to start with the most difficult market to be a seller in the northern part of the state and the best market to be a buyer in. Which one is it? It's Cache County. All right, guys, so the best way to look at this is to really look at trends year over year. So what did the market look like exactly a year ago in comparison to where it's at today? So a year ago in Cache County, there were 514 homes on the market. Today there's 678. That's an increase in inventory of 32%. At the same time, last year in the prior 30 days, we had sold 106 homes in Cache County. This year, that number is 86. So while the inventory is up 32%, the demand is down 19%. The average days on market is 82 days for those 86 homes that sold in the last 30 days. Interestingly enough, we had, in the last 365 days in Cache County, we had 606 homes go on the market and fail to sell. As of today, we have 6.52 months worth of inventory. Why is that number important? Well, typically a market, if we have fewer than 4 months worth of inventory, we have a shortage of supply and abundance of demand, and that's usually forcing prices up. Between 4 and 6 months worth of inventory, we have a pretty balanced market. When we get over 6 months worth of inventory, we're definitely seeing some depreciation. And as we go through these, please understand these are macro numbers. Every market, every price point is different. And so make sure that when you're talking to your real estate agent, you have somebody who's paying attention to the statistics, who understands exactly what's happening in the market and how best to position your home to be able to get the highest price. It is important to price the property aggressively, meaning you may want to price better than your competition. You may want to plan for a little bit longer marketing time, and one of the most important things that you can do is look for an agent who understands how to negotiate a lot of terms in a market like the one that we're in. So, Cache County, guys, 32% up in inventory, 19% down in demand, and over a 6-month supply of homes. Okay, guys, county number 2 as the best county to be a buyer in the northern part of the state and the second worst county to be a seller. Which one are we talking about? Well, it's Utah County. It's the Provo area. So Utah County year over year is up 30% in inventory. So last year at this time, we had 3,169 total homes on the market. This year, that number is 4,130. So we're up almost 1,000 homes in inventory year over year. The number of homes that sold in the prior 30 days last year was 856. This year, it's 767. So for percentages, we're up 30% in inventory. We're down 10% in demand. The average days on market for those 767 homes that sold in the last 30 days is 56 days. We did have in Utah County 3,268 homes go on the market in the last year and fail to sell. We did manage to sell just over 9,200 homes, which means that we have a 5.38 months worth of inventory of homes in Utah County. Last year at this time, we had 4.6. All right, so significantly better than Cache County, but still very close to that tipping point where we're definitely going to see some depreciation. It is important if you're selling your home in Utah County to, again, price aggressively, make sure that the agent you hire understands today's market and understands how to market a property in a slower buyer activity market, right? Guys, number 3 is Tooele County. All right, so Tooele County, which is west of Salt Lake, there's been a lot of new construction out there. It's been known as an affordable place. So as the market softens and interest rates rise, sometimes Tooele County sees a little bit of a bump. We actually see more activity because it typically has been a more affordable area that's reasonably close to Salt Lake County. All right, so last year we had 516 homes on the market at this time. This year we're at 607. That's an increase of 18%. This was a little bit surprising, but the homes that sold in the prior 30 days last year was 144. This year we're down to 111. So while inventory is up, buyer demand is down 23%. Now, because we're talking about smaller numbers, those percentages can have a bigger impact, but that's significant. Up 18% in supply, down 23% in demand. We have in Tooele County 5.04 months worth of inventory overall, and last year we had 4.7. So that's an increase in inventory, an increase in months worth of inventory of about 7%. So while it has fared better than some of the other 2 counties that we've looked at already, there's a significant drop in buyer demand. If you're a buyer in these markets, guys, understand that there's going to be some points of negotiation. You'll probably have a lot of inventory to look at. The best homes are still going to move and move fairly quickly if they're priced well. So make sure that when you hire an agent, if you're a buyer, you hire an agent who really understands the market and how to find the best properties. And if you're finding really, really good properties at really great prices, that's typically going to mean that you're still going to be negotiating and potentially multiple offers. So be prepared. We aren't over the 6 months worth of inventory, but we're getting awfully close. So Tooele County, number 3, most difficult to sell in as a seller. Number 3, best one to buy in the northern part of the state. All right, we move on to number 4, which happens to be Weber County. So this is up in the Ogden area, Roy, some of those areas. Inventory is up 36% year over year. We have 1,355 homes on the market today. Last year we had 996. That's a big number. That's a big difference. The sales are down 8%. Overall, last year at this time, we had 3.6 months worth of inventory. Today, we're at 4.86%, which is an increase of 34%. We are seeing a significant shift in Weber County as far as months worth of inventory, but it is a little bit better than the other 3 we've looked at, and it's changing fast. So keep an eye on this. This might be in a different slot next month. All right, Salt Lake County is number 5. Last year we had 3,411 homes on the market. This year we're at 4,224. That's an increase of 24%. The big difference, buyer demand. We sold 1,149 homes in the prior 30 days last year. This year we're at 952. So inventory is up 24%. Buyer demand is down 17%. Overall, Last year, we were at 3.47 months worth of inventory at this time. That means that we had a shortage of supply. Property values were typically moving up overall in the county. This year, we're at 4.24%. That's a change of 22%. So again, things are changing rapidly. A lot more inventory and fewer buyers to compete with. If you're a seller, this is still a pretty good market. You're still in pretty good shape. And it still requires that you make sure that your repairs are done, make sure that your home is staged and show ready, because the market is getting a little bit more competitive. It's not like it was a couple of years ago. You're still going to have some pretty decent activity, but that's changing rapidly. All right, the #1 county to be a seller in the northern part of the state, and the most challenging one to be a buyer, which typically means that values are still going up. But which one is that? Guys, it's Davis County. Last year we had 926 homes on the market in Davis County at this time. Today we have 1,191. That's a 29% increase in inventory. The buyer demand, this is the only county in the state, well, in the northern part of the state that we have reviewed, that sold more homes this year than they did last year in the prior 30 days. It's really close. 314 homes sold in Davis County in the prior 30 days last year, and this year it's 325. That's actually an increase of 4%. However, because of the significant increase in supply, we were at 3.17 months worth of inventory last year at this time. This year we're at 4.21%. That's a 33% increase in inventory in 1 year. Okay, so the trends, guys, what are we seeing? We are seeing that there are a lot more homes coming on the market. In almost every case, there's fewer buyers. While rates have remained consistent, you're getting more to choose from. You can be a little bit pickier. You can be a little bit more aggressive in your negotiations. There are opportunities out there. Most of the people that are selling their homes right now absolutely have to sell. They're motivated. I can't tell you how many times I pull up a listing to go show it, and right across the front in big bold letters, motivated sellers. Guys, there's a lot of people that are looking to offload houses, whether they've carried them as investments or whatever it is. We're starting to see more and more homes come on the market. That means more opportunities for you, better opportunities to get better houses. And as always, if you look long-term and not very short-term in the housing game, property values have always been consistent and moving up. If you've gotten crushed in the investment markets and the stock markets, one of the more stable places to hold your money is in the housing market, and that's where the deals are going to be the best. So yes, inventory is up. Yes, buyer demand is down. Yes, you've got to make sure that who you work with makes a big difference. We've helped over 1,400 families move into, out of, or around Utah. So whether you're moving to St. George, South Jordan, or Smithfield, we've got you covered. And if you're interested in learning a little bit more about the communities we discussed today, you can follow our other videos, and you'll find the link right here.